Marcus Smart is going to the Lakers. That's just a tough one to process. Plus, Jordan Walsh, his summer league, I've figured it out. I've landed on a final spot. It's right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
B-Town, be ever ready. It's the C's. Who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT. Karalis, recap the madness every game, every practice. Prime time, Depp and D White on the sideline. Raining Jays, how it started, raising banners, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It is your team every day. Your team is the Boston Celtics, and I talk about them Monday through Friday right here for free for you. So make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts. Watch a show on YouTube. Get into the comment section. Share your thoughts with me. I'm John Karalis, beat writer for Boston Sports Journal, covering the team for about 20 years now. I've written a couple books about the team as well, so you can go Google those, check that out. Today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. So, a couple of scheduling things before we get to the show today. Number one, 5 days a week for the next couple of weeks. Then in August, we go down to 3 days a week. So make sure you become an everydayer. If you're with me every day, I love you for it. You can just subscribe right now, get there every day. And then for the rest of this week, I got a mailbag tomorrow, johnkaralis.com/mailbag to get your questions in. johnkaralis.com/mailbag to get your questions in for the mailbag episode tomorrow. Thursday, I've got Millie's coming up. That's currently scheduled. Haven't recorded yet, but Millie's, Cambridge-based rapper, Celtics super fan. We'll have a little different kind of conversation there. So that's coming up on Thursday. If you're a Millie's fan, you want to check that out. All right, now today's show. Later on, we'll get into some summer league stuff, including my final thoughts on. Whoops. There you go. There's the graphic. Jordan Walsh. I think I figured it out. I think I understand why I'm not fully satisfied with his performance this summer, and why people are like, what are you, crazy? I think I've got all of that figured out. We'll talk about him. Let's talk about the Summer League offense in the second segment, where there's been some kind of conversation about how the Celtics Summer League offense is running. Are they doing this intentionally? Is this part of something that we should look forward to? We'll talk about that. But I want to start the show with Marcus Smart going to the Lakers, just because it was, I don't know, a topic of conversation when it went down a couple of days ago. I was at my nephew's graduation party, so I didn't have any thoughts for it on social media. It's just one of those things where a guy who's so associated with the Celtics, even though he's bounced around post-trade with Memphis, with Washington, buyout in Washington, now he's going to go to the Lakers because he wants a role, he wants to play, he wants to make an impact. Don't blame him. It's going to be weird to see Marcus Smart on the Lakers. I can't wait to see him and talk to him and ask him when it comes to the other side, what's it going to be like after the Celtics play the Lakers? What's it going to be like to be on the other side? Because Marcus came back. Now, I know on this side of the fandom where people are extremely online, you're listening to a podcast, you're watching a podcast, there's a good chance you're on social media. The battle lines are drawn. You love Marcus Smart, you hate Marcus Smart. Him going to the Lakers is going to be very difficult, or who gives a damn? You're in one of those two camps. But I think generally speaking, the non-online, just the regular fans who are out there and don't have time to be on Twitter or Instagram or Blue Sky or any of that stuff, it's going to be weird. And I think he's going to get booed. And, it's going to be fun to see that happen. But I think there's going to be maybe an intro. Maybe he'll get cheered at first, but then he'll get booed. And he should look, it's Celtics Lakers. You're going to get booed. I can't wait to see that dynamic. And if I'm Marcus Smart, I'm preparing myself for the heat of that moment, because in a Celtics Lakers situation, as much as you might like the guy, he's wearing that Lakers uniform. That's booze, man. That doesn't matter who it is, man. That's booze, no matter what. Maybe intro, like starting at guard, Marcus Smart. It's maybe there's applause there. Maybe the applause are for when he comes out for warmups, but at some point, either at the intro or during the game, it's over. It's over, and it's not personal. This is a Celtics Lakers thing, but it is going to be weird. I've had some people, comment like it's like it's a betrayal or something. That's not how this works. Marcus is he's got a job, right? He's a professional basketball player. That's how he makes his living. And I grew up in Rhode Island. I've been a Boston guy my whole life. Professionally speaking, if I was a professional basketball player and I wasn't getting the opportunity, or I wasn't getting my, a chance to earn my next contract, whatever it is, if it was the Lakers that wanted to give me the contract and the opportunity, then so be it, right? You have to, that's your job. You got to be a professional, and it would be weird. But at the same time, we'll sit here and celebrate Paul Pierce, noted Lakers fan growing up, didn't want to be drafted by the Celtics. And here he is, Mr. Celtic, right? Jayson Tatum, Kobe fans, Lakers fan growing up in St. Louis, came to Boston, totally like that's the team that he always hated. And now here he is embracing Boston. He's Mr. Boston Celtics now. He's setting records and is a champion, and his number will end up getting retired. That 0 is definitely going up in the rafters for sure. So he's going to go into the Hall of Fame no matter what happens down the line. Tatum is a Hall of Famer as a Celtic. And so that you can't ask those guys from LA to come to Boston and embrace it, and then have like Marcus is from Texas. I'm sure he will always, he'll say it. He'll say it over and over again. He has said it over and over again. He loves Boston. Boston is always going to be a part of him, but business is business, man. Once the Celtics decided that they were going to trade him, he doesn't have any obligation under anything to be like, I'm not signing with a certain team. So yeah, Lakers come calling. It's just going to be weird. Obviously I still like Marcus Smart. I think that in the right situation, he can still be very effective. I'm curious to see what his role is going to be there, but they're going to need some kind of like defender on the perimeter. And so, I'm very curious how much he's actually going to help them and how that's all going to go. Lakers are in a weird spot. LeBron is, for the first time in his career, kind of like the number 2 guy, and not just the number 2 offensively, but the number 2 guy in the organization. If LeBron said, I'm out of here, I'm done, they'd be like, okay, cool, we got Luka. So how do we do this? You know what I mean? He used to have the threat of, well, I'm not going to come back, or, hey, maybe I'm not so interested in being here for a rebuild, or whatever the hell it is, however they phrased it. I don't think the Lakers are in a spot where like, yeah, they got a new owner. They got a new superstar. They're like, it's Luka who's going out and recruiting. Luka's making the pitch to Marcus. So I don't know how this is going to work. It's going to be a very curious year. So as on the Celtics side, you look at the Lakers and it's like, weird. It's going to be weird with Marcus Smart. It's going to be weird with Luka there for the full season. A weird dynamic with the LeBron thing. That thing could go south in a hurry. So I don't know what to expect, but I do know that Marcus Smart in a Lakers uniform is going to be weird as hell. But I'm looking forward to seeing him come to Boston in that Lakers gear and being on the other side of that rivalry it's going to be very interesting to hear Marcus's thoughts on all of that. So to be continued, but hey, the business of the NBA is weird. Let's get to Summer League. Let's start with, Summer League's over now. Let's start with the Celtics offense, because people are talking about the offense that the Celtics have been running. We'll talk about that and whether we should look into that more deeply or if it's just the thing that happened this summer. That's coming up next. Today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. If you ever wish that managing your money was just easier, and it's difficult, because every time you turn around, let me tell you, if you're not grown up yet, I'm going to tell you how the grown up stuff works. Every time you turn around, you're spending money on something. If you own a house, if you are an adult, there's people are reaching into your pockets all over the place. Managing your money is tough. You need a personal CFO. That's what Monarch Money does for you. Complete financial command center. You can track your accounts, your investments, and most importantly, your spending, because you just can't. Every time you turn around, a bill comes in. Oh, I need this. I need a new piece of equipment to take care of the yard, and that's on a payment plan. So tracking your spending, finding out where all your money is going, super important. So you can know how to budget and plan for what's next. If it's you and a partner, you can manage all of that stuff on the same app. So if you share finances, it can keep you on the same page. Very big thing for you there. So track everything, take control of everything, and build your wealth. Take control with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first order. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On NBA, Locked On NBA Game Night. This is the final night of Summer League, and there is a champion that's about to be crowned. I don't know who it is at this point. Let me see. I don't even know who's playing. Oh, Sacramento and Charlotte. Yeah, they're going to talk about that. I'm recording. I'm not even watching that right now because I don't care. But some people do. People in Sacramento, people in Charlotte. So Locked On NBA Game Night's going to have that. All the big stories in the NBA. More on Marcus Smart. All of that stuff. All right, let's get into Summer League, where the Celtics ran an offense. First of all, they played their fifth game on Sunday, 6 p.m. They played the Atlanta Hawks. There was no Baylor Shireman, no Jordan Walsh. Amari Williams only played the first half. They didn't have Charles Bassey because he only played 3 games for them. He was done. They didn't have Kenny Lofton. He had a prior commitment, so he was done. It was the leading scorer was Isaiah Wong. Jalen Bridges had 16. Benjamin Gregg with 2 G's had 13. Kendall Brown had these were the guys. This was the international showcase. All of the international scouts finally got a chance to see the guys who are at the end of the bench, and these are the guys that are going to be going to some of the lower leagues overseas. So not much to say about that game, which is why I started with Marcus Smart and why I'm talking about the offense, which is look, I noticed like a few set plays that they ran where they had you have a screener come across at the top for a flare screen to get a shooter open on the other side, and you can get it to the screener, Amari Williams, a lot of times, and then have a cutter from the corner and try to find him back door. So they ran a couple of set plays that, mental note, I'm going to watch to see if those are repeated in the regular season, just a couple of little things. So set plays with backdoor cuts could be something that the Celtics are working on. They need to cut more. They're going to need to cut more this upcoming season. They're going to have to play faster because the talent level has dropped significantly. You cannot look. Holiday is gone. Porzingis is gone. Tatum hurt for most, if not all, of the season. So Jaylen and Derek are not. You're just not going to be able to isolate because now teams can double team. right? That's going to be the big thing. The whole point of the Celtics offense for the past few seasons has been you cannot double team because Tatum or Brown, Tatum especially, is going to have the ball a lot. And if you double team either of them, you're going to end up giving up a 4-on-3, a 3-on-2, 2-on-1. So that's going to, that is gone. That is gone. You can double Jaylen Brown now. You can double Derek White now because, okay, so he gives it up to who? Baylor Shireman? It's going to be a whole lot of so what? Prove it going on this season. So that means a change of pace, change of style. The Celtics regular season, they're going to have to play a more up-tempo style. I think it's going to be a lot more cutting. Now we see that in Summer League, and I think there's this kind of propensity to be like, well, they're playing like that in Summer League, therefore that's translating to this is how they're going to play in the regular season. And I think it's just a coincidence because every team in Summer League plays fast because there are, first of all, a ton of misses and a ton of turnovers. And everybody in Summer League is trying to prove something. Everybody. There's nobody in Summer League that sits there and goes like, oh, I got nothing to prove. And if anybody has like that bit of like, oh, well, he's proving that he doesn't have to prove anything else. That guy's done. So many guys are done after 2 games, you know, that and like Cooper Flagg and all the other big names. You go out there, you have 2 big games. You're like, oh, he actually doesn't have anything to prove. But that player and the moment is trying to prove something in that he's trying to prove that he's got nothing to prove, which is, I know it sounds weird to say that, but that's everybody's out there hustling, working, trying hard, trying too hard sometimes, trying to do too much sometimes. So frantic. It's a frantic style of play. At least like 30% of what you see out there is completely out of control basketball. So I don't think Summer League playing fast is the Celtics going, hey, let's try playing fast and see how that goes. I think Summer League playing fast is just Summer League plays fast, and that's always how it's going to be. They did run those set plays. They did run some sets to go backdoor. And so I do think the translatable stuff from the Celtics offense will be set plays that involve cuts. That's the new part. That's the new thing when Brad Stevens says, hey, we're trying a couple of new things. That's the stuff. Set plays that force guys to do things that they may not have done before. Guys in the NBA, they don't like to cut as much. It's harder work. And if you don't get the ball, it's frustrating as hell. If you make a cut and you put your hand up and you're like, I'm open. Well, if you don't get the ball, it's like, now what did I do that for? Because I was just standing next to the guy with the ball. If he gets double teamed, I would have gotten the ball. So I should have just waited. That whole set play where guys are cutting, that's going to have to happen for the Celtics because you're going to have to anticipate double teams. You're going to have to anticipate 2 going to Jaylen, which means you're going to have to dump it off. It's going to be Luka Garza. Maybe it is Amari Williams. I don't think so. I don't think he's ready for that. But whoever it is, they're going to have to be able to turn and find a cutter, or that cutter is going to have to adjust and maybe it turns into some sort of dribble handoff or something else like that. But there's going to have to be a more built-in motion, not just guys read this and move if you see it, built-in motion to the Celtics offense. So I don't think the Celtics style in Summer League necessarily was indicative of how they're going to play this summer. I don't think that's a direct correlation. At the same time, I do think the Celtics need to play a little bit more runoff misses. Right. Yeah. Runoff makes actually. And we'll get to this over the course of, this summer, preseason, all of that. Forcing turnovers. Joe Mazzulla has spent each of the last 2 seasons in preseason saying, yeah, we need to force more turnovers. And they never did. I think this year they're going to have to force more turnovers. Last season, they got away with not forcing turnovers because they challenged shots and they forced low field goal percentage. They rebounded well during the regular season. What burned them in the playoffs was that style of defense. When you don't grab the defensive rebounds, it'll kill you, because if you're not turning them over and you're just relying on rebounding the misses and you come up against a top-notch offensive rebounding team, you're going to get smoked. And the Celtics did. And that's one of the big reasons why they lost to the Knicks. I think that defensive issue of not forcing turnovers really did come back to haunt them against New York, especially. They need to be, I think, a higher risk, higher reward kind of defense. They're going to have to take some chances and just say, we're going to end up giving up some backdoor cuts. We're going to end up giving up some like easy runs to the basket. Whatever it is, we're just going to have to live with it, because the reward is a turnover that gets you going the other way. That's just how the Celtics are going to have to play it. So they're going to have to play a little bit more up-tempo no matter what. We'll see. But I think the only thing from the Celtics offense from Summer League is like a couple of set plays that I think will translate over. How about these players? I think just some final words on some of these players, especially Jordan Walsh, who I've been all over this past couple of weeks or so. I think I've cracked the code. I think I got it. I think I figured it out. And it's because of what he said after the win against LA. That's next. All right. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Let's get some final thoughts here on Summer League's individual players. I'm going to start with Jordan Walsh. He had a quote he told reporters in Vegas after they beat the Lakers, which, if you listen to last week's podcast, Friday's podcast, I said, this is Jordan's best game. And, I let that sit for a while. Over the weekend, I heard his post game where he said, quote, I wanted to beat the Lakers bad. I wanted to make a statement really bad. And then he talked about how he was motivated to play, after getting ejected. Then he said, quote, I was even more motivated when he came out and they were hitting me, pushing me, all types of dirty stuff. And I was like, all right, stay cool, go out and play and just win this game and be happy after. That quote got me to where I needed to be on Jordan Walsh, where he said, all right, stay cool, go out and play and just win this game and be happy after. And it just hit me. It's not that he's not playing great. It's that he's not focused. He's not 100% mentally there. And that explains why I thought the first few games were like up and down, choppy, not giving me that like consistent, this is a guy going to his third year in the NBA, and he's not showing me all of the stuff that he should be showing me as a soon to be third year NBA guy, even though he's just 21. Where's some of that maturity? Where's some of the tricks? Where's all that stuff? I don't think he was focused. I don't think he was fully motivated, fully there, locked in mentally, because he talked about, like, you see clips of him running into guys on the floor and he's like, oh yeah, I shouldn't have been running into, I just kind of lost my place there. Mental thing. The ejection was a mental thing, not because, oh, he shouldn't have been ejected. I've already said what I need to say about that. It's that he said after the game, I low-key forgot about the first technical. That is a complete lack of focus. So that's it. That to me is I hit on. I think that's the final answer on Jordan. Can he do it? Yeah, because we saw it in that game against LA. That was his best, most engaged game. And in some ways, it's like, well, that's encouraging, because in the NBA, he's going to be nothing but locked in. He has to be, because he's not good enough. It's not like he's the best player. He has to be locked in to go up against Jaylen and Derek and all these other guys. Yeah, but then at the other side, it's like those losses of focus are like, hey, buddy, you're going into your third year. you're competing for a spot. You should be nothing but laser focused. And I just think, because he admitted it, how do you get a tech and then like 2 plays later forgot that you got that first tech, get a second one and get thrown out? Like, that's the bigger issue for me. How do you like not know the play? How do you just run into dudes? Where's your head? Where's your focus? So that's it. That's it for me with Jordan. I think when he's locked in and focused and motivated like he was against the Lakers, he's fine. Totally fine. Gotcha. When he's not, we get that stuff that I've been talking about where it's like, why haven't you shown me your full bag? Why haven't you shown me your new things? Like, he should have been shut down after 3 games. It's like, oh, Jordan, there's nothing more for Jordan to show us. So I think that's my final take on Jordan. Guys like Baylor Shireman, I think just because his shooting was so bad, it was high volume and it was terrible, terrible shooting. I still come away with this from the summer. Like, he showed me those things that even though the shot didn't go in, I still felt like the process of getting to those shots was good. Now, the shot needs to go in, no doubt about it. But I still come away saying Shireman's going to be okay. Amari, he's still too slow. I think he needs time to get used to the speed, which is fine. He's a late second round pick. So I still like his passing. I think his vision is great. I think there's something there with the passing. I think there's something there that you can build around. I don't know where it goes. I'm not sure if it goes NBA level, but that's obviously too early to make that assessment. I just know that when I see him play in Summer League, it's too slow, too deliberate. And I think that's a product of thinking a lot. I think he's just taking a lot in. He's thinking about it and he's going slow. But even when he's making his moves and his spin moves in the lane, he was moving really kind of slow and deliberately. I don't like the speed at which he was doing that. I'd like to see him really speed up. That's not NBA speed that he was playing at. So let's see. He's a wait and see kind of guy. With an NBA level skill, I want to see that being developed. And now let's finish this off with my big Summer League overreaction, which is, I think Hugo Gonzalez is a hit. I think he's going to be a big hit. I think it's going to take a little time. He's 19, but I think it's going to take, a couple of years. But in that 27-28 season, which is, 2 or maybe 28-29, 2-3 years from now, I think we're going to be looking at him as like most improved player kind of guy. I think this year is going to be, to me right now, the perfect plan for Hugo Gonzalez is get him a real taste before the G League season starts. See if you can get him into some NBA minutes, whether it's part of the rotation, garbage time, whatever it is, whatever you can do to kind of expose him to like, oh, this is NBA speed. This is NBA physicality. This is NBA refereeing, all of that stuff, the crowds. And I'm sure he's used to a lot of that stuff being with Real Madrid, but still at this level, I want him to see it. I want him to fail. I want him to do all of that stuff, get a sense of it, internalize it, go to Maine, start working, go through 2, 3, 4 weeks, work it out, come back, go through some stuff, apply it, get to some garbage. I want to see him get some taste of the NBA in his rookie season. Take it back to the G League, work on it. You know what I mean? It's basically go back, get a lump of clay, boom, and then try to mold it in the G League. I like his feel for the game. I think his competitiveness is where it needs to be. I think his drive is where it needs to be. I think his skills are there. His brain is there. It just needs time. And maybe, like I said, in a couple of years, 2-3 years, something's going to click and he's going to start playing really well. But that's my overreaction. I think I think we're going to look back on Gonzalez as like, oh, wow, I can't believe that he went 28th. And I don't know. I know Summer League is what it is, but it just, there's certain, I think over time, you just kind of develop, you kind of feel like when you see it, you know it, you get it, it like hits you like, oh yes, that type of stuff. It is the speed. It is the, when you see something, when that ball leaves your hand, when you make that play, how you make that play. And the, like I said, the desire, the hard work, all that stuff. I mean, that kid is ready to go. He is ready to go. So I'm really high on him, and I understand that it may be a wild overreaction, but I really do like him. So we'll see how it goes. Okay. Tomorrow is a mailbag episode. All mailbag questions, go to johnkaralis.com/mailbag, johnkaralis.com/mailbag to ask your questions. I will answer them on tomorrow's episode. So get those in. Again, thank you everybody for being an everydayer. We're Monday through Friday this week, Monday through Friday next week, and then 3 days a week for August and early September. Then we're right back to 5 days. So it's going to be a quick little kind of dial it back kind of month, but still be here. Free podcasting like crazy. More free podcasts you're going to find anywhere else. Hopefully you enjoyed this podcast enough to get into the comments section on the YouTube page and share your thoughts, and then share the podcast. Tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.